So here are my mega tips on the LG washer dryer combo to get you the most help as you can in the fastest time. Enjoy. The fastest one, you've got a quick cycle, quick 30 cycle. Maybe if I come in a bit closer now. You can see that's 30, but I can, and it's set to 20 degrees and 800 spin. But if I tap, I can then increase the spin cycle or have it not at all. And I can also increase the temperature, etc. And you can see how that changes things. So if I did it maximum, there was 40 degrees, that would be 29 without a spin. And then that goes up, then it corresponds 43 minutes to with a 1400 spin at max temperature. If you do want to just a dry cycle, turn it on without touching the dial, just press dry. It's a bit confusing because again that light on the dial is still lit up. And then you've got your dry options, and I can press it, it'll be 30, etc. But if I leave it, whoops, this is going through the full cycle of drying options. If I leave it and just press play, it will then calculate how long it thinks it needs. So that's the one we use all the time. And it is actually trying to do that now. A standard, I think, let's say drying cycle, wash and dry cycle is about 3 hours 30 for us with this. Just note that, as you see here, the 2-in-1 combo, the direct drive is 8 kilos of laundry, but 5 kilos only for drying. So if you are going to do a wash and dry cycle, be sure that you don't overdo it, because obviously that can't handle it. To start it, I'll pull that back. So if you hear that sound, it's very familiar. Long press, quick press on there, and you can see the LED lights up. First confusing point, you can see over here, I'll try and do that. This lights, but it's not actually selected the right cycle. So that's the first point of confusion for me. This has not selected a cycle at this point, and if you see I turn it, the LED display over on the right, that lights up to show that cotton is selected, but it will select this by default. A little bit confusing, but anyway. And then you simply spin these through, and you can probably see again over on the right the spin cycles and so on corresponding. Some of them, let's say duvet, it shows the time immediately. Others it'll do it on weight. What I found is that minimal cycle is 1 hour 30, and so if your garments are under the standard weight or the sort of minimum weight for that load, then it'll always show 1 hour 30. However, if I scroll through then the other side, you can see sportswear, gentle care, etc. Probably most of it, but you've got these options, and you can see then down below you've got your wash or dry cycle. Again, when I press play, then it calculates for a few seconds. It takes about 15 seconds, I guess. You can hear the locking mechanism kick in as well, and then it will generally put on the little time from there. It is empty, so it might be confusing it. And there's another point, you hear the locking mechanism, there's that familiar double click sound, means it's locking. What took me a little bit of a while to get used to is actually this display, you're actually just tapping it rather than pressing it. So you've got your buttons over on the left, but here, let's say if I put the dial to mix, this to work now, if I press play, if I did a delay end option, there's the lock. It tells me the exact time it's going to finish. Now I can only set it by the hour, but you can go up to 19 hours. So like the end of a day, it's pretty nice. You can just come home. So you can see I can pause that, and then I can still at this point, you hear the lock, delay end. And so you don't need to worry about how long the cycle takes, you just need to know when it finishes, and that's the key thing. If you can see at the top, it says the extra buttons. It's just these down here. The extra functions are the stars. So if I want to put child lock on, I just have to press that for 3 seconds, and then that, see the CL's flashing. A child can't come in and then touch it. You see, it won't change anything. It just beeps. So if you've got a child, because it's so easy to just touch it, it won't affect it at all. Again, but to get that off, I've got a long press, and it's gone. Okay, so the extra functions are the ones at the bottom. You can see tub clean, crease care, child lock. And you can add an item at any point that is safe to do so, but once the water's filled up, then it's on. I've had a lot of questions about people saying, why doesn't my LG washer dryer combo dry my clothes properly? Now there's a couple of things you need to make sure that you're doing. Okay, if we come over here, you can see this direct drive, the 8/5 kilo. 5 kilo is the maximum dry load, and 8 is the maximum wash load. So if you're doing a wash dry cycle, you still can't go over 5 kilos. Now you might be wondering, well, how do I know? Simple option is just to get yourself one of these luggage weighing scales, put your laundry in a shopping bag and just weigh it the one time so you have a really good idea. And if you're going over that 5 kilo limit, it's going to damage the machine and it's not going to dry your clothes. So you need to be sure you're under the weight limit first. The next tip I would say is to actually just let it weigh the clothes. Okay, so when you put it on wash or dry, now I don't want to do it because I've got a dry load in here, but when I press play there, let it weigh it and it will do it by weight. If I just did dry only, I've never had a problem with it not drying. The other one I would say, if I open it, and this is a dry load, is go by eyesight. Can you see the clearance at the top there? You know, I'm not totally full. Don't ram it in full. Even if it's under the weight, you still want to have some space for the clothes, you know, for a bit of air to circulate within the machine. If it's completely full, I would say that you're less likely to get your clothes fully dry with the LG washer dryer combo. Okay, so if you do all of those things, you're going to have a much better chance of getting those clothes dry, and it should work fine. Like I said, I've not had issues with it. I find it very good. Maybe compared, if you've had a dedicated tumble dryer in the past, it might not be quite as good, but at the end of the day, it's half the size to have one of these compared to one of a washing machine and a tumble dryer. So, you know, it is that trade-off. For me, it's never been an issue, but doing all those things should work for you. Now is I've opened the door. I've got to clean the seal and the door. Now you're going to see that I've neglected mine. Oh, I wish I'd cleaned this more often. But anyway, the official advice is to go for 1 part bleach and 3 parts water. You can also use white vinegar. So I've got a cup there, basically exactly that combination, but just of white vinegar. So go whichever you've got. If you do any stronger than that, you risk degrading the rubber and it wearing down quite quickly. So definitely want to do that. Now I've got myself a quick cloth here. You really want a spray bottle if you can get one, but I haven't got one to hand, so I'm just going to dab it in. You know, think about what you use. I was going to use a plastic scourer, but I'm worried that might also break the rubber. So I'm going to go for it quite soft and leave it for a while, and let's see if I can get it to work. So I'm just going to dip this in here. Oh, I'll try not to get it too wet. Maybe I should just put that in there. And let's get in here. Now, hopefully you can't see this because it's kind of bad. I'll just get that in there. Now, all kinds of stuff coming out. I'll pause as I do, but I'm going to go right the way around and then leave it for 15 minutes. Okay, so you get the idea. Use a spray if you can, but otherwise just go for the cloth. Okay, so I've done the inside of the seal there and given a good clean. I've also cleaned the inside of the door, which does get quite sticky. Just as a point to note, if you want to prevent the black mold build up in your washing machine seal, there's a couple of things I've seen, and I've got a dedicated video, but one of the best things is to actually make sure you run it on a dry cycle every so often, because that actually, with this machine, the steam technology, really does clean out that mold. I've noticed that comes out absolutely dry. And the other one is, if you're not using the dry cycle often, maybe in summer, is to actually then just make sure you open the door as soon as you finish washing, and those two should reduce the black mold, if not prevent it entirely. Okay, on to the next. Let's leave this for 15, and next step. Here we need to drain the hose and take the lint out of the filter. Now, before you do this, and this is LG's recommendation, you put a tray of some kind under there. I've got a dirty grill pan that needs washing anyway, and I'm going to have to open that compartment. But I'll also do, if I can do this, I'll put a rag or a towel there to try and catch any water that might come out as well. Okay, so this was the one I used earlier. And let's just flick this catch open, and you've got some more instructions there if you want to follow, but I've just been checking with the LG website. So first we're going to do the hose, and don't pull it out too far. It's got a screw cap on the end, and then we're going to do the lint filter. So I'm going to try this with the one hand. I think I'm going to have to pause. This is a bit too hard, but basically I just twist that off. Water's going to come out for a few seconds, and I'll catch it in the tray and then put it back. Let me pause as I do that. Okay, so you can see that filling up with water. Hopefully this is going to be enough. Again, I'll pause. 30 seconds later, still going. Now this might depend on your machine, but you can hear it gurgling. I'll pause again. And it's starting to slow up now. And yeah, the grill pan has been absolutely fine. It's just a covering, but that's it. So I'll just take that cap, screw that back on again with two hands, and I'll just connect it, put it back in place in the compartment there. So that was easy enough. Literally just screwed that cap back on and clipped it back in as I found it. Next thing, now I want to take this filter out. Just turn it clockwise, excuse that. It's a bit stubborn at first. Just a couple of twists. And let's see what lint we've got in here. Okay. Oh, you can hear something dropping out. I'm just going to give that a once over with a brush and again some warm water, a bit of detergent. And that is my lint filter cleaned. Pause as I do that. Okay, so I've just removed the hair from the lint filter by hand and all the others, but there's some quite grimy stuff on here that I definitely want to get rid of. And I'm going to need a brush and a scourer and some warm water and detergent for that. So I'm going to pause as I do that, but look at that in there on that seal. Really yucky stuff. I'll pause now as I do it. Alright, so my lint filter can now go back in. Just as we pulled it out, just put it in, and then I'll just turn it clockwise, I think, to get it back in. Okay, and then that's just clicked, or it's at least stopped, and that is in place. So I've drained my water, cleaned my lint filter, and now we're ready for the next step, to actually run the tub clean cycle. Of course, I'm just going to get rid of this water down the sink, and then wash my grill pan in the dishwasher. Okay, so got rid of the water, push that in. How to spin only by popular demand. So let's get straight into it. To spin only, just press the power button. You see it come on. And over here then, you've got to use the touch screen, tap spin, and you'll see the minutes go through that. So you don't touch the dial, you just all in the touch screen. And you can go through, you can see here you've got the spin speed, and here's the minutes corresponding to that spin speed. And if you go through, you'll see the faster the spin, the longer it takes. And that is really all there is to it. When you're happy, let's say full speed, 1400 revolutions per minute, then just press the play button, spinning away. This time helping you to figure out why you cannot connect your LG washer dryer to the Smart Think or Think app, even if it says tag on your machine and you've got things like download cycle. The first is probably because you've got your phone in a case, so get rid of the case because you actually physically need to tap it. The second might be you haven't turned it on, and if you don't have the Wi-Fi button, you need to hold the child lock button until that beeps. Okay, and then if I flip over to the app, I'll show you the next. And if you don't have Wi-Fi button on your machine, press no button or Wi-Fi is not blinking, press OK, and then simply press yes for the tag on and tap it onto your machine physically. Remember, you'll also need NFC on in the settings. If I swipe down, press the cog icon and go to Bluetooth, you can see next to Bluetooth I got NFC. That must be on your phone as well. So just to complete the process, if I physically tap the phone, it does it. And in this case been added, but there you go. That's how you connect your LG washer dryer to your Smart Think app or the LG Think app. Remember to check out my playlist for more tips and tricks on this. Hit the like button if you found it useful. I'll see you in another video soon. Happy washing. A popular question I've had is how to stop the machine smelling after washing. I'm going to run through all the things you can do to stop that nice and easily. So I've got this wash, and this actually, it's on at the moment. This is just finished. And this is the first tip, a drying cycle. Okay, so the actual machine, if you look in here, this at the end of a drying cycle, and this is where you're probably going to get the problems with smell, that will actually smell if it's wet after a normal wash cycle, but after a drying cycle, because of the steam cleaning technology used, it actually dries this out and actually stops mold. Now I've got a bit lazy and I didn't know all of these things before, so mine has got a little bit of mold. The other thing you can do is actually get yourself black mold remover spray, get in to this, the seal, right? Don't let that seal get moldy, okay? So you can be active about that. Get a little bit of spray after the wash. Don't wash it with that, but do that. And then another tip for you as well, every couple of cycles, well, not every, maybe every 20, 30 is recommended, do the tub clean. Now if I hold TCL, or hold the tub clean button, TCL will pop up. LG website recommends you use this with a special washing machine cleaner. Now I've got these tablets here that you can use that are for a washing machine, or if you want to save money, you can simply do it with half a capful of white vinegar, as I have done in the past. And the tub clean then will get a thorough deep clean of your machine, and the cycle is designed for it. You run it on empty, but it will help. And then the final tip you can do is just to leave the door open immediately after washes, to let that ring, the seal there, just dry out a bit and get some air in it, because this does really get wet and moldy if you leave it shut. You want to keep it open as soon as you can and leave it open for maybe an hour or so to let it dry out, depending on your conditions and your local climate, how hot it is in your house, etc. If you do all of those things, you won't have a smell. Remember, even if you don't have much to dry, I find it hard, just run it on a dry cycle every now and then, and that will help big time. So if you found it helpful, give us a like, and I've got other videos on using the LG washer dryer combo, so check those out now. I'll see you in another video soon. Thanks for watching. I've come in this morning to this error code on my LG washer dryer combo, the UE error. So it's an unbalanced load error. So basically what's happened, my wife's tried to put it on wash and dry overnight, and there is something wrong with the balancing of the load. It's tried to balance it, it's not worked. So if I power off, it's probably to do with bed sheets or something. Yeah, so what we've got is a really big heavy sheet that is probably taking the weight limit over, and that'll be it, unfortunately. Or one or two just heavy items like this bath mat weighs quite a lot, and when it comes to the spin cycle, that will have thrown out the balancing. So you'd have to remove the heavy items and wash again. Unfortunately, no simple error. Here's the detergent drawer. Now you want to take that out, and it's quite easy. You see, if I pull and I just put my finger on the back here, then I can take that out. And I'm also going to want to take out the tray, which this actually comes out pretty easily. It just pops off like that, and so I can actually get in there, and you can probably see immediately I've got this scum. I've not been tracking my detergent use properly. Okay, so to clean the detergent tray, you're going to need some mild detergent, very liquid, hot water, and just to do a basic job, you can use a simple scourer. Take it up a level, throw in a brush, but if you want to do a pro job, you're going to need a pipe cleaner like this, because the only way to get into this crevice here, and mine with a pipe cleaner, mine did have mold and so on down there. You can see that is a tight fit even then, but it's a long way down. Okay, so you're going to need all of those if you want to do it properly, but you know, a scour is fine, brush as well, but that would be my tip for cleaning the detergent tray on your LG washer dryer. And you can see it's come out pretty nice. I got a lot of mold off as well. That's clean down there. I can just put that in the drying rack. Again, same with this piece here. I'll just leave that to dry. Now, if you're wondering whether that's dishwasher friendly, I couldn't find that online, so I'm not going to take the chance, given that it's such an integral component. So not worth it, but let's keep going. Next step I can do is actually to get in here, and you can see I got some residue there. I'm going to have to clean that out, so let's do that now. Okay, so I've just put a bit of warm water and some fairy liquid or detergent in there. I'm going to use the brush and the plastic scourer and see how I go to try and get in at this. Okay, there's just a bit of stubborn suds, so let's have a go. Dump that in there, and wow, if you can see that, it's a bit dark. Just kind of move it, dislodge it a bit. It should come out. I can just take that out and then rinse it off, and I'm going to repeat that until it's gone. Okay, so just a quick update. I did end up finishing it off with a plastic scourer so I could get a bit more in there, and you can see all those caked suds and detergent is now gone. Brilliant. So on to the next step. So just to keep it authentic, I should probably leave this to drip dry, but I've actually just done it with a dishcloth, and so that looks pretty good to me. I've clipped that back in. Just notice that the end has the two tabs. That's the only real thing you need to pay attention to, and it clips in very easily. So that is clean. Compartment is clean, and I can just put that back in really simply and just press the tab down, and slide it in. Oops, didn't quite. There you go. Slide it in. Now next up, check out my video on the screen here. You're going to really enjoy it, and I will see you there.